but it was God's plan. He's been a huge, huge blessing in our life. I think one of the things that strikes me about a lot of the people we get to know with Down syndrome, including Henri, is hardwired childlikeness that even goes beyond what a normal child sometimes has. Christ talks in the Gospels about the children who were being pushed out of the way and said, like, hey, let them come up. In fact, if you don't follow them, you're not going to find your way into the kingdom of God. And that's I think one of the real powers of our friends with Down syndrome and Henri is that there's a downward journey in a life, that can be found following him. And there's stuff you can learn about the gospel that you can't learn in a seminary, by being around people with special needs.
The Lord really met me whenever we got his diagnosis, and that night we were at Handel's Messiah and hearing the words of the gospel just being sung over me, and I just felt the Lord's blessing and the Lord saying, I've created this child and I'm giving him to you. And it was such a meaningful experience. I don't think I've had another experience quite like that in my whole life. So he's just been such a blessing.
I feel like it's different having two younger siblings with disabilities, and I mean, there's highs and lows parts of it, test your patience sometimes, but then also, just Henri's such a joy.
He's blessed me. He's just a joy 99% of the time. But like any parent, there's also times when disabilities bring you to your end, And I think what's hard in those moments is you don't like who you are as you respond to this kid that's taken you past your limits. And at those moments, we can find grace in even deeper ways if we are open to it. These two are best friends. So, one thing I'd say to any family out there with a kid with special needs, our instinct when we had Layla was like, let's call it quits at 2. And we got advice from a friend who was a therapist, and she said, one of the best things you can give to your kid with special needs is a younger sibling. So that's who he was for her, and that's who Ruby is for both of them. It's like, the whole idea of inclusion in a education setting is, fundamental to a modern understanding of disabilities and how to help people. But you can do that in your home. We wouldn't be the same not only without Layla and without Henri, and obviously Ava, but with little Ruby, And so,